First thing on the agenda, getting rid of that old clear coat. I tried sanding it down by hand, but after 30 seconds or so it became clear that it would have taken me ages, so I tried to solve my problem with power. Unfortunately, that didn't work quite well, as the power sander was melting the old lacquer rather than grinding it, so I was back at square one. It was time for plan B, playing Heisenberg with some chemistry. I applied a thick layer of paint removal gel, waited a few minutes, and proceeded with scraping the surface with a plastic spatula. Old paint didn't want to give up easily, but after 2 hours or so of applying the gel and scraping it off, it was all gone. Next, I used 120 grit sandpaper to prepare veneer for new clear coat. Cleaned the surface with the solvent and proceeded with applying first layer of paint. When it dried, I sanded the whole thing once again with some 320 grit sandpaper and proceeded with applying another layer of paint. I drilled 5 pilot holes in the speakers board for mounting screws and proceeded with the mounting speakers themselves, which are held in place by 4 screws each. Initially I wanted to use the original fabric, but after peeling it off I hand washed it and it shrank. I still attempted attaching it onto the board, but wasn't pleased with the result, so I got some material with an old school vibe to it, cut it to the length, and attached it to the board using a staple gun. Essential part here was assuring that the material is evenly strained, as the geometrical pattern would show a slightest difference. I think I did pretty well. I also had to do something with the very dirty glass panel. I washed it first, and what was expected, quite some paint chipped off in the process. I'm no expert in glass staining, but I tried my best to paint over missing parts using some acrylic paint and my wife's nail polish. It doesn't look even close to what it looked like when it was brand new, but it doesn't bother me that much. Now onto the missing back cover. I took the measurements, established location of power switch, power supply connector, and typical for that model, a lamp port. I cut the wood with a circular saw, which I also used for establishing the endpoint where the top edge had to be carved out due to a support running across the box. I used a chisel and a hammer to get rid of the excessive material. Making holes for ports wasn't that easy, but a combination of a drill, chisel and a file did the trick. That will be all for now. Stay tuned for the final part. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.